front page for the open this weekend. All right, so red, small splash, blue, Ral combo. I'm not sure how to feel about this versus the Steam-Kin deck that we played a good bit of earlier this season, and notably the big difference there is we had 4 copies of the 0-4 that deals a damage every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell. And that card's nice because it plays defense elegantly. It also provides another alternative win condition. So this deck, outside of Ral, just like slowly... Electrostatic Field, yeah, that's the one. Outside of Ral, we're kind of light on win conditions overall. Although we've got 3 cheeky copies of Invade the City here to create a potentially very large amass token. Although it'll be interesting to see, like, is this good enough without the ability to give it haste or something like that. So, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and pop on into some matches here and see how this goes. Sweet! Thanks for sharing, Fixo. Fact or fiction is neither brutal nor incredibly efficient. So I feel like it's probably not going to be that great.
Great things, you and I.
Would you like to trade? Deal. Did I have fun at the energy event? Yeah. Doing paper magic on occasion is a good time.
You will not dissuade me from battle.
And then after I scrubbed out of the tournament, it was nice. We had a hotel for Saturday night too, so I went and like did some work and I took a nap. Yeah, Brad's got me. Listen, as an adult with 2 children, getting to take a nap in a quiet hotel room is like, it's wonderful, okay? Because normally even when I get an afternoon where I can like take a nap at home, there's still children screaming downstairs. No, Matthew didn't love me enough to put me on camera.
Learn from this.
Not a whole lot going on here on our side of the board. And this is one of the things I was potentially worried about looking at this deck list. So it's doing similar things to the Steam-Kin deck, but that we've played before, but it has less win conditions in it. So there's going to be a little bit more looking for like things to actually get doing with our mana. We played Legacy this morning and it was very bad. Was not a good seed. And see, like all of these cards that I'm sitting casting here without something like an Electrostatic Field in play, we're just spinning our tires, right? Like we're not doing anything meaningful. Yeah, feeling pretty dead. So I know that tramples, but I want to kill it with Lightning Strike. And, like, this is the position we're in now where, like, we didn't draw any of our tools to allow us to be proactive. So we're, like, sitting here trying to be, like, this awkward red control deck. And, like, it's tough to be a control deck with, like, the tools this archetype has. So I get to get Lightning Strike and get Tormenting Voice here, discard a land. But then, like, even if I draw a another burn spell here to finish off the Hellkite, this does 2 to me at end of turn, and then they have 5 in play. It's been kind of a rough day so far. A lot of lopsided matchups and missed land drops. I think I'm gonna trim Runaway Steam-Kin because they're likely gonna have a ton of removal here, right? I think we're just supposed to lean into the hey, we're a control deck roll post board here. Just, like, have these to block with. Maybe we're supposed to go up a couple of lands here, too. If I'm bringing in extra 4s and an extra 3. Try something like this. Yeah, like, there's no guarantee that, like, the electrostatic fields win us that game, but I feel like they probably put us in a little bit better position. Looks updated here, unless I pasted the wrong thing. Looks like it's correct here, Chalky. We've not played any Phoenix on stream. Playing the Rekindling Phoenix deck playing the Arclight Phoenix deck into a field full of Narsets and Teferi sounds kind of mediocre. Finale also notably not good in the face of Little Teferi. Like, Little Teferi prevents Finale from having text.
What an interesting creature. Let's see how you work.
Saheeli gonna eat it here. And again, like, we're in a spot where we're, like, pivoting into trying to be, like, this controlling deck, but our deck doesn't have card advantage in it. So, like, sitting here 1-for-1ing, like, keeps us alive a bunch, but I don't have, like, Planeswalkers or Chemist's Insights or anything like that to really keep my head above water, so that way when I draw a couple of lands while I'm 1-for-1ing, I can keep going. Yeah, some consistent flow of card advantage. Yep. And like this is another card out of the opponent that generates a 2-for-1 on us, right? Like even if I manage to kill this, like if I manage to kill this, I then have to deal with this. And things just kind of like snowball and get out of control for me. They have a land here. I can't even meaningfully block the Thorn Lieutenant this turn, because they'll be able to threaten to pump into a 6/7. So we're like hoping they miss a land drop, but it's like, well, if they're missing a land drop, how do we beat 3 spells in their hand?
I've lived with animals my entire life. Explains a lot, actually.
I mean, like, if I draw a Lava Coil here, I'm actually in a pretty good spot. Because if Lava Coil, I can Blast Zone kill this, Lava Coil this kills this, so we'll at least take a draw step towards that. That's not going to do it. Well, this deck as built can't play Drake, Chucky. Oh, you're saying Enigma Drake, right? Not Crackling Drake? Yeah, I guess we could just play Enigma Drake. That's probably, and at that point, right, like, why aren't we just playing, like, the Drake stack? I don't know. Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if this card was playable. I'm gonna go ahead and just cycle through this for now. Since we don't have blue just yet. Today's just been kind of rough overall, Prince Day. I don't know that I really have a standout just yet. Like, if we're playing against Esper here, I've got a bunch of potential damage in my hand, but I don't really have ways to, like, keep Planeswalkers off the board. Yeah, it's probably not an unreasonable assessment, Solera. It's probably fine as, like, additional copies of Drakes, but I'm not even sure that we need more than the just, like, the base 4. Like, as this deck shows, we don't even have 4 of this card. Red-green is not an answer deck. Red-green is a kill them deck. The best answer to a card in your aggro deck is go around it or go over the top of it with flying. Well, this actually bodes well for us because it means that a lot of our cards that previously didn't have much text actually have text. Because it means our burn spells are actual answers. They have a bunch of creatures in their deck. Does make me feel a little bit bad that I was aggressive with my first Lightning Strike and just sent that upstairs. This card's also really bad in the face of Little Teferi, huh? They just, like, bounce your token. Details on how to submit a deck to be played, along with all the pricing, can be found here on my website. The pricing in specifics varies a bit based on what format you're submitting a deck for. Yeah, exactly right, Rock. Every time, I agree. Every time my opponent, like, plays a hero, and I'm like, oh, good, you're playing the Esper deck that I have cards that do stuff against. I mean, they're all kind of bad against my burn spells, Limb Nursery.
There's no accounting for luck. Maybe yours will hold.
I took the highest upside one because my opponent could have taken my burn spell and then left me with needing to top deck a burn spell. So, like, if I leave the Thief there, for instance, it's possible my opponent takes my Lightning Strike and then I don't have an answer to it anymore. And, like, here again, this is such a good example of, like, well, I've kind of gotten to a point where my opponent and I are at parity, but they have card advantage and I don't because this deck's trying to play like a control deck without having tools to really generate card advantage like a control deck needs to. Yeah, we're just never gonna beat the Search for Azcanta. Hey, Tadio, thanks for the sub gifties. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week wherever you're at. Enjoy the gift of speech, folks. Welcome to Hoaglandia. What do I want to trim here? They probably have Little Teferi in their deck, which makes Finale, I promise, a little bit less than ideal. Trim Tormenting Voice as well. Lenoiad, thank you for the 10-month resub. And Flying Tempest, thanks for checking back in for the 7 months. Anonymous, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think after this match, we're going to drop from this event and change to the more traditional meme-kin list that we've played in the past. So I do make changes to decks while we're playing them. I just want to talk through and highlight why I think these changes to the other meme-kin deck we've played are bad, and then highlighting in practice where they're coming up to where it makes them bad. Cancelled, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. Hey, congrats, Tadio. Well, I appreciate it, Cancel. Thanks for keeping me around. Good to have you here. One of the things that the build of Steam-Kin that we've played in the past does out of the sideboard is this build is boarding in Rekindling Phoenix and Legion Warboss as its alternative threats. And one of the things I prefer to do is our build has more Planeswalkers in the sideboard to allow it to really generate card advantage, so that way when it pivots in to this more controlling role, it doesn't just like sputter and run out of card advantage like this deck has been doing consistently. I'm gonna hold on to that. They have like a Thief for another hero. I really want a Lightning Strike. They're very predictable, Tedio. Absorb. That's an interesting one out of Esper Hero. Maybe they're playing a little bit bigger, more controlling version. Yeah, I agree, Stormy. I think after this morning's run, I'm kind of off of Bantbo for the weekend, so we're gonna put Abzade Hero in the queue tomorrow for sure. take this off the table before we crash through, obviously.
Still have
Let's
much
get
to
a
learn.
second threat into play here. So we want this Teferi down tick so we can finish him off.
Sorry I'm late. No, I am not making this up as I go.
The Bampo deck just has a hard time with these miscellaneous, like, mid-range value decks. These Planeswalker decks that both come up the board and can close very quickly while also drawing a lot of cards. Just feels like the Bo deck really feels like swimming uphill.
That's more like it.
I did not, Chalky. Really don't have that much time to consume other Magic content these days. And what little Magic content I do consume is mostly other Twitch streams.
But I'll make an exception for you.
Just to get ideas for what other people in the industry are doing. I don't write much written content myself these days, so I don't read much either. Yeah, we'll see how the Angels decks go. The Angels decks, I feel like, are probably going to have some similar problems to what the Bantbo deck has, in that it's just kind of playing expensive threats that don't have enter the battlefield effect, so make them kind of mediocre in the face of this card, which is everywhere. Yep. I assume we'll see Dovin down tick again here, Teferi up tick, and then I'll have blockers for both my things again next turn.
Here we go.
Yep, there's a search again. So we've 1-for-1 a bunch again, and now my opponent's stuck the search for Escanton, just gonna get to bury us in the water. Ooh, that gives trample. That's actually super relevant. Surprise relevant trample. Let's go. I love when the flavor text on this card ends up being like, oh, that was meaningful. Okay.
Only time will can't tell. be denied. I am beaten.
Do you think, considering the amount of walkers, Mox Amber could see more play in more lists? Yeah, I mean, if you go look at the list from Start City Games, some of them are playing like 1 and 2 Mox Ambers. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of like cards that are effectively lands that aren't lands when they're in my opening hand, basically. A lot of the time I'd rather just like have a utility land. He's Expansion Explosions. Being pretty awkward here with no blue mana. Yeah. If you're on mobile too, if you click the extension icons, you can pull up a list of cards and play it in graveyards and hands and stuff on mobile as well. But yeah, being able to mouse directly over on the desktop is really nice. Morning, Juka. We might actually be in a position to get on the scoreboard here. Depending on what they end up drawing. Like, if they end up finding, like, cheap removal spells, I might even be able to, like, expansion those removal spells back at their hero. And maybe this Phoenix can drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. We can continue applying pressure before they can leverage the mana advantage and or leverage the card advantage from.
If you wish to surrender, hone your prowess.
Yeah. We started with Legacy. Was a rough morning for that. Adamain, thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the support, Prince Day. In the future, I would encourage you to wait to send me bits until I tell you I'm okay to accept something. I don't always say yes to everything, so I'll let you know if the deck you sent in is okay later this evening. Alright, blue source. Blue source is actually really good here, because it means if we find another blue land, suddenly our hand is unlocked. Especially with the 3 mana from Runaway Steam-Kin, we get to draw a lot of cards with these explosions. Really unfortunate that this is Veto and not another Absorb. If it was Absorb, we could expansion it back at them. Alright, now I think I have to pump the brakes, huh? Which means we're probably losing since they have an Azcanta. Like, board stall heavily favors the person who has an Azcanta on their side. They get to blink their Oathakaya here. Not that that really does a whole lot. I wonder if blinking this Oathakaya is better than just, like, activating Azcanta this turn. Doesn't seem like it on the surface. I guess they get to dome me for 3. It doesn't let Thief attack, because it doesn't come back till end of turn. Maybe they thought it let Thief attack. All right, well, if they don't kill Ral, and we get there's a lot of ifs here, but maybe
stand by and watch. Let's skip to the
maybe. Remember, we need an instant or sorcery spell to get started, too. This combo is like 800 cards. Don't even think about respecting the Ral. I need this out, opponent. I need this out. Oh, yes. All right, come on. Come on, 1 instant or sorcery off the top, please. 1 instant or sorcery off the top. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Do 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 do.
What's not to love? I'm brilliant, handsome, and totally electrifying.
I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet.
Hurry!
Cast a removal spell. Cast Thought Erasure. Cast Mortify. No, stop it. Cast something I can expansion. No. No. That was rough. I feel like I don't think I have it in my deck editor anymore. To self shill for a moment. This deck overall feels like kind of a clunkier version of the Ral Meemkin deck that we've had, that we worked on a little bit earlier this season. So for people not familiar, this is my website, magicesports.net, which is taking a second to load here. Darn it, I was supposed to be advertising you. Don't have load times. Load times aren't good. So like this is a little bit less all in on the Ral game plan, and it draws cards via things like Light Up the Stage and Risk Factor, Lightning Strike, Shock, etc. And then most notably, it has other cards like Electrostatic Field to give it extra threat density. And then post-board, we board in things like Ral and Saheeli and Tybalt to have a little bit of extra threat density. Yeah, also, Ral plus Risk Factor is really good, because a lot of the time your opponent can't afford to take 8, so you end up drawing a bunch of cards. One thing that I might want to update on this list, I guess we have skewers to say, having deal 3 damage spells to finish off Narset's pretty important, but we have 6 of those. This is probably fine. So I think if you wanted to play something similar to like what this deck was doing, I'd encourage you. If you want to see this deck played, there's videos of us playing it up here. So if you've never been to our website before, there's deck lists and then videos of me playing said deck list immediately below for your easy viewing pleasure. Yeah, Ral's kind of like a Gutter Snipe that's just like doesn't die as easily. So we played Gutter Snipe in older builds, and then like with the advent of Ral, he felt like just like a more natural inclusion. All right.